let's get into some flip talk. Now, we're going to start with number one quarterback, Bryce Underwood, because we have to. And he's coming off this big LSU visit. Bryce Underwood, number one quarterback, number one player overall. So let's talk about this recruitment. It's really two teams at this point. It's Michigan trying to make a late surge to flip the in-state quarterback, and then you got the team he's been committed to since January 6th, and that's LSU. Steve, we'll start with you on Bryce Underwood.
While talks have certainly intensified with Michigan here over the last month, communication between Bryce and head football coach Sharon Moore, his camp and the Michigan camp, I still sense there's a lot more confidence on the LSU side that he will stick with his pledge to the Tigers. He was there on his official visit this past weekend, got around the guys again, got around the coaching staff, brought several family members with him down to LSU, and talking to sources on both sides, I think there's a lot more confidence that he remains with LSU.
Chad, do you view Michigan's run here as serious or just something that Michigan coaching staff must do? I mean, there's no way they can let the number one player in America just leave the state uncontested, right?
No, they want it to be serious for sure. They want some more return dialogue and kind of keep that interest there. I mean, we've seen guys like before, Dante Moore leave the state. I mean, C.J. Carr leave the state. We've seen guys in the past, those top quarterbacks in Michigan, for whatever reason, choose not to go to the program in Ann Arbor. I'm on the same page with Steve here. 2 weeks ago, I had a feature called Calling My Shot, and I picked Bryce Underwood as a low confidence level to stay at LSU. That will be higher this week. So coming off that OV to LSU, I'm hearing a lot of the same things that Steve is right now, that we like their position better now for LSU to hang on here for Bryce Underwood.
Michigan is much more equipped in the NIL department for high school recruits than they were when Dante Moore was going through his process and ultimately rode with UCLA at the very end as the Bruins ended up swinging the biggest stick in that one. But he's at Oregon now. The returns on Dante Moore at Oregon are strong. He's their future under center after Dylan Gabriel exhausts his eligibility at the end of the season. Michigan, there was talks that they would maybe sign two quarterbacks in this cycle as it is. They had Carter Smith committed, and then they wanted Bryce Underwood. Keep an eye on Brady Hart there in the 2026 class as a guy that maybe could potentially reclassify to 2025, which could also help. But two quarterbacks for Michigan has never been out of the question as they try and restock that quarterback room that was seriously depleted when J.J. McCarthy moved on to the NFL.
What's LSU done right in this recruitment?
Well, I think it first and foremost starts with the relationship with Joe Sloan. I don't know if there's an offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach in the country that does a better job of building meaningful relationships and trust with top quarterback recruits. And then just with Bryce Underwood and LSU in general, he always had an affinity for that program. Even before he was heavily recruited, he had an eye on LSU. He was a fan of the Tigers. Then when he goes down there, they love the culture, the diversity around the program, the food. And then Brian Kelly's name is powerful in the state of Michigan for what he did at Grand Valley State, what he did at Central Michigan, and then certainly what he's just done in his career. And then LSU's track record at the quarterback position recently, two Heisman winners, Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels. He sees himself being part of that lineage, and he knows there's always going to be wide receivers at LSU year in and year out. The Tigers are stacked at that position. So those are just some of the reasons why he's in the fold for LSU right now.